Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of What the Heck Is, and also the first video on my channel. This series ought to be to educate you guys on certain languages, codes and ciphers which you may or may not find interesting, but hey, if you're new to this kind of stuff, give it a try. I personally find it can be quite fascinating. This episode will be on the encoding method of Atbash. It is one of the most simple methods of encoding text there is. The great part about Atbash is that anyone can use it on the internet and in real life. Alright, let's get into it. Firstly, some history on what Atbash is and how it originated, which shouldn't take too long, but if you just want to get into how it works, then I will provide an annotation which you can click to skip this part of the video. But stay if you can, because the history is quite interesting. So Atbash was created in the biblical times, and its name derived from the first and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Tav, Ba, Beth, Shin. I cannot pronounce that if I wanted to save my life, but it was then changed to just Atbash, because that's easier. It was originally meant for the Hebrew alphabet only, but it was discovered that it can be easily used on any modern alphabet, including English. There are even some biblical verses in the Bible which actually include Atbash in some of its sentences. Alright, now I'll get on to some of the juicy stuff. Atbash is a simple substitution cipher, and by its name you can probably tell it simply substitutes other letters or symbols for alphabetical letters A to Z. It is one of the most simple ciphers there is, and anyone can do it if you have a pen and paper. In fact, if you have a pen and paper near you, try writing down the encoding method, which I'll explain to you now, and even trying to write down some sentences with it if you want to. Although Atbash is very simple and easy to decrypt, any normal person with no knowledge of the cipher will have trouble deciphering it, and your messages will stay secret. Obviously, if your message contains very important information, then you might want to consider a higher level of encryption, such as a Caesar cipher, or even making your own cipher, but I'll get into that in a later episode. Okay, so to create an Atbash encryption/decryption tool, you simply want to write down the English alphabet from A to Z, and then underneath it, write down the reverse, the alphabet from Z to A, and that is it. You've just made your first encryption/decryption tool for a cipher. Cool, right? Now, to use it, simply get a sentence of your own, maybe something like, ciphers are cool, for example. All you want to do now is check where each of your sentence's letters are on the first alphabet, and then their encrypted version is simply on the second alphabet. For example, A becomes Z, B becomes Y, C becomes X, etc, etc. Once you've done that, you can now tell everyone that you have officially written your own encrypted text. You could even give your encrypted message to your friends and ask them to attempt to decipher it. They probably won't understand how to until you tell them, but when we get into some of the later episodes with the Caesar cipher and even creating your own, they'll be even more puzzled than they are with Atbash. Alright, well that about wraps up for this episode. I know it was simple, but it's a good way to start my channel. Make sure to comment down some of your own Atbash messages, and tune in for the next episode where we'll be discussing the Caesar cipher and how it adds a whole other level of encryption on top of Atbash, which can make decrypting your message way harder. Alright, bye guys!